Welcome to the Hermitcraft recap. My name is Pixelriffs, our writer is SloyXP, captions on this video are provided by Liara, and not much has changed, but they race underwater.
Here's the deal, Leo. I think I've got something really good for this race.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to know what it is?
What's that?
I didn't bring it with me.
Determined to cause some mayhem with these new mounts, the server has committed to transforming a long stretch of waterways for one of the faster snail races we've ever seen. While the first contest has for sure happened by the time you see this video, we're still writing this too early to give you a play-by-play. But since multiple race events are planned, it'll definitely be enough for sports fans to get excited about. It's like the Olympics, but for aquatic shelled creatures, which is why we're calling it the Olympits. Formula Blob was our second choice, but only because it was sponsored by Shell.
And what I'm picking up from this is that the key is obstacles.
In more civic and less watery transport news, the season's Nether Hub is now a great deal more convenient thanks to the expansion of tunnels and a mob switch preventing piglins from spawning, everywhere.
Maybe I'm mistaken, maybe I shouldn't have done this, I don't know.
And with that out of the way, let's take a look at all the events and mishaps that occurred on the Hermitcraft server this week.
Don't you have a newborn? You're supposed to be tired all the time.
I am tired.
Starting with CubFan135, because this whole river race is his fault anyway.
Let me go ahead and get started on this section, and I'll be back.
With the launch day fast approaching, Cub dedicates all his time to getting that set up, as well as to reminding Azuma that it's due way sooner than the end of March.
Confession to make.
Yeah.
I for some reason I thought it was the end of March, so now it's crunch time.
Well, X will be joining us in the egg on the face corner, since we implied multiple times that after the race is over, Hermitcraft will get a nice super highway of interconnected rivers, only for the race course to turn out to be an obstacle course. Slime block bounce pads? Pretty inconvenient by public infrastructure standards, but quite good as far as Takeshi's castle is concerned.
Oh, did this one break? This one broke. Whoops.
Oh, it's
Little
a flying machine that's
slight
got problems.
Slight difficulty.
We would be remiss not to point out that while the Nautilus riding prevents the racers from drowning, the course offers plenty of opportunity to suffocate into a wall. Also hilarious is that the underwater competition makes it absolutely certain that a lot of people will see Gem's unfinished bridge support pillar.
And
now here it
the
is.
Nautilus course goes straight through it.
Front and center, man. Front and center.
Grian actually makes it so a lot of people won't see much of anything during that race, because his part of it is fully redone in black concrete, and if that wasn't enough, he consults Tango on transporting multiple wardens to below the seafloor to completely blank out the screens of the passers-by with the idle blindness effect. The racers will have to navigate by the froglight lanterns coming out of the pitch blackness, and living in the northern hemisphere during February, I gotta say, same.
And then you can go on into Scar's part. No idea what he's gonna do, but the race is in 2 days.
While Grian, Etho, and Gem lead the darkness spreaders to their prison by the sense of smell alone,
Etho, bad.
Etho!
Bad!
What's wrong with him?
Can't see.
Cub sets up the headquarters for the competition, shaped of course like a giant Nautilus, and located at the shopping district where all can see it.
The Nautilus Racing League is a series of 5 Nautilus races I'll be hosting throughout the next month. Hermits will earn points and trophies in each of these races, and the top 8 players by points will qualify for the grand finals at the end of the month.
Naturally, Hoffen has already provided the custom 3D trophies for the 3 winners, meaning it's all her fault now too. You can get a better idea of what exactly she is to blame for by watching Azuma struggle through Cub fans' sore trap of a segment, as well as looking at his own Dripleaf-powered part of the race. As Dripleaf is basically just toggleable lily pads, this section actually serves as a whole minefield of blue shells. The winning party might not just get stuck, but open up the road to the other competitors. We also find out that the Nautili can climb ladders.
I think you can just about jump straight over it, but the cool thing is you can climb it with the ladder.
The Dread Pirate Ijevin has no boat in this race, but he is working hard to provide a worthy backdrop for it. Also, he has so much boat otherwise it's not even funny. Much of his video this week is spent letting his server mates educate him on the many uses of a humble breeze charge, which must have been a necessary change of pace compared to figuring out exactly the bend of the hull of his man-of-war ship. A task difficult to accomplish using squares, even with the world edit capability.
Make it all done. I'm just kidding, I'm kidding. That would be insane if I just left it like this, though.
He's certainly edited XB Crafted's world as well, as XB discovers the hidden base Cub Fan and Ijevin left underneath his staircase. He still has his demise instincts about him because he approaches it cautiously, and in the end he's most upset about the fact that they left granite in there.
Ooh, free stuff. I got free stuff. Is this where my freaking... I don't know if that was mine, but I don't know where my... Oh.
It wasn't intended as a birthday present, but fortunately Carb also got him something else, a tour of the Nautilus race starting line. And XB gives himself the gift of sneaking up on people until they notice him, although he still follows the Hobbit tradition and gives away stuff on his birthday, as he offers Zombie Cleo access to the rockets he's now farming at his base and directs them to the Blaze Farm.
You are welcome to steal anything you like.
That's the problem.
Which is around when Hypnotized crashes into his episode and directs him to this cool alternative gold farm design they wanted to try out. In this rare collab of two people living a single-digit amount of blocks from each other, XB and Hypno crack open the roof of the Nether and build the old reliable stack of magma donut shapes, but with a twist. For one, the piglins are lured into the center falling tube by a llama. The animal has been tricked into spitting at a pre-trapped piglin, so every new local spawns in already mad at the pack animal.
Yes. Yeah, oh, yeah, they're dying now.
They're then transported into the overworld and back and slaughtered for their gold. Truly, the circle of violence continues. The circle made out of magma specifically.
With how many piglins, I feel like we should be seeing more gold than this, but I don't know.
It's then that Hypno and XB realize that the farm actually only works on a multiplayer server if there's two people operating it, which luckily, that's exactly how many Hypno and XB have sitting around. It takes more people than that to wrangle back a runaway warden from the decked out 3 field of monsters, but that's not the worst news for the llama gold farm technology. The biggest hit to it is actually that Tango Tech has decided to build his part of the Nether Hub. Having planned out the decorations for his branch of the Netherside Superhighway, Tango realizes that the design fails to account for the remarkably murderous monster spawn pool of the Nether Wastes. Luckily, there's a thing called a mob switch that can take care of that. Simply having more non-despawning hostiles than the mob cap can handle actually disables the spawning algorithm for the area. So Tango can pile up some wardens somewhere out of the way and save the whole server some headaches.
0 hostile mobs, I think? Oh, that was a little piglin. I don't know if he was hostile. But anyways, I'm pretty sure it's working. You can see there's basically nothing around here.
The problem is that the farms already installed on the nether roof over the central hub require monster spawning to function. So Tango Tech decides to resolve this by making his mob switch an actual switch. All it takes is a pile of wardens and enough infrastructure to make Etho think this is a mail system. On the upside, it looks pretty funny when it's working.
Please carry on. Nothing to see here. What? That is the most terrifying thing ever. And they all arrive into place.
So this would have come in really handy when Wells Knight was building his own nether tunnel. Would have come in handy back when Gemini Tay was building the hub, for that matter. Still, Wells has a fairly easy time with his, though it does drop you off a whole river across from where his castle actually is. Nice view though, and besides, just another reason for Wells to build some structures.
I mean, I know Zedaf's is right there, but I don't know if his is hooked up properly to the hub, so I guess I'll just make my way back through the main one that's in the shopping district.
Thankfully, some of the materials dug up from the central intersection become part of the pallet Gemini Tay uses for her own base. So the nether infrastructure wasn't a complete waste of time for the lady that flies everywhere, if only to get a spear shot on Joel's smallish beans.
Failed. Half a heart. Half a heart. Let's go. Back to work.
Somehow, Skizzleman is eventually murdered in revenge, as he often is, but we expect no less from Gem, as she is currently manifesting on the server what we can only describe as the Blood Church. Many a pale oak died to bring you this epic interior, and you'd be pale too if you did the Summoning Pearlescent Moon at 6 AM challenge.
Well, I saw these new towers, and I thought that I should try out the response times. Pretty good. I got 2 firefighters. Hey, guys. Good morning. There's a fire down here. Hold on.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Of other mysterious appearances on the server, Joel Smallish Beans finds a sign at his base telling him not to look under the carpet in Grian's bedroom. Naturally, he checks under there right away, and is befuddled finding some dried ghasts sitting there. He is in fact as confused about it as Grian, who both put the ghasts there and also left the sign telling Joel not to look.
That's a really strange move. Hold on.
Why am I not meant to look at this?
Joel's own floor is pretty much dominated by moss now, so he has plenty of space to grow these sniffers. The ancient resurfaced flowers are then put into a small farming enclosure. He also adds a special logging pen for the more modern tree types, which I can assure you wouldn't have ran away otherwise anyway. Do not let your eyes deceive you, this is not a sawmill, this is a material gathering time-lapse factory.
we have space for something in the future. When we bring stuff up from underneath, we're going to bring it up to these chests here so we can access it on the surface when we build our farms down below.
And now for something completely different, Zombie Cleo tells a skeleton to reconsider, and the skeleton reconsiders.
Too simple? I'm thinking... Don't do it, man. Don't do it. Moving...
The same trick does not later work against a warden, as the deep dark exploration goes south for Cleo and all of their equipment. Luckily, Gem is there to offer a spare elytra so Cleo can recover their lost gear, shortly before Gem loses hers, and then Cleo loses their gear in the end void also.
This has not gone well for me. Like at all. I fell into the void not once, not twice, but 3 times!
As for why Cleo was in the end void in the first place, that's actually for an entirely different project from their rapidly growing ziggurat, though they can recruit fangarms now if they want to. Turns out glass over the end void will render as completely transparent on a map, which, paired with the invisible item frames feature Hermitcraft has on the server, means they can put transparent PNGs onto the blocks without summoning Hoffen at 6 AM. As this is straight-up wizardry, Cleo shows their portable sparkle to Rendog, and he is very impressed by being able to essentially put stickers over all his magical tomes. This earns Cleo access to Ren's powerful wool farm so they can paint him many more particles. Meanwhile, the frame rate shivers in horror.
I can make different ones. I can make more.
No, these are so cool.
I mean, this literally took me 10 minutes to make.
Doc M77 witnesses Etho calling Pearl to the scene of a fire. Fly. Bush.
Yeah, I think Palemoss's excuse that it's dry. I guess this is too moist.
It's a shame we don't have video where he explains his criminal methodology, because Doc is personally a little baffled by this behavior, and adds that if this was Season 10, Etho would probably end up in Tall Claims Court and be sentenced to a couple of weeks of Skyblock. But this is Season 11, and the only one sentenced to Skyblock is apparently Vintage Beef. With the Nautilus race approaching the starting line, Doc catches himself a Coral Nautilus and gets a preview of the course with Cubfan.
I don't know if the deadline for the race, the 27th, will be held, man. I see a lot of grind for some hermits on the horizon, dude.
But of course, he's got a game of his own to complete, and while Whack-A-Shulker isn't fully complete, it can now dispense 4 shells per shulker successfully shot, it stores your high scores, and has both a countdown and its own theme music courtesy of some custom music discs.
I think the audio level is I don't know how well the audio level translates over to you guys, right? I balance the audio differently.
After Mumbo's playtest proves it rock solid, Doc seems to have a hit on his hands, provided that Etho doesn't burn it down.
Right, Doc, just to make sure, do you have any Chinese takeaways on the way? Have you ordered an Indian pizza? Is anything coming?
All good.
Etho does become an unwilling accomplice to another attempted crime after inviting Impulse SV to try out his player launcher. But how was he to know Skizzleman was going to build a wall in front of the launch zone?
Wow.
Yeah, the totem, man.
My first time, and he tries to kill me.
I tried to smash your stupid face.
Did you dodge that impulse, or did you hit it?
Etho still makes it up to him by providing enough wind charges that the decontamination chamber for Impulse's silo can be stocked for at least a week or 2 of special effects. As long as he has enough lingering potions, of course, which right now he's brewing manually like a mad lad. But Impulse still figures he'll need a long-term supply of wind charges, so a visit to a trial chamber is the next logical step. It certainly explains why he's happy to chuck them directly at a fire when Pearlescent Moon wants to test some alternative extinguishers. But wind charges aren't the only airball thrown here.
Come on!
Oh,
It's making it worse.
People have been telling me in my comments for months actually.
At least Impulse's shopping district ventures can't miss. He's got his stock bundled at Impulse Buys now for easy transactions, and adds the silo farmed resources to the available selection. Speaking of which, back at the silo, he builds a fresh to-do list of farmable resources in the style of Season 7, just without the machine to randomize what he builds next, because it's too easy to ignore what a computer tells you to do. Signed, someone who's been ignoring software updates for literal years. Joe Hills has made it his mission to make the server more colourful on both the relatively small scale of the Mardi Gras float, which still dispenses dispensers to anyone who wants to flick the switch, which it turns out is most people, and the giant scale of starting a map art district in one of the server's larger bodies of water, starting with 128 by 128 squares of solid colour and building up from there. Zombie Cleo's glass platform in the End Dimension is part of this project, and Joe helps to lay out some of the glass there, but returns to the overworld to map the map district. And finally, there's a lot fewer pillagers on the mountaintop next to Mumbo's base. Just kidding, they spawn here. You're going to need more than a spear to deal with that one.
You mean the only way to prevent them spawning is by spawn-proofing the area, maybe covering it with butter?
Ever the academic, Mumbo cites his sources for the essay and building he's about to undertake, which includes anime classic Ghost in the Shell and the real-life Kowloon walled city. His other source, of course, is Good Times with Scar's storage system.
This is utterly unwatchable.
He also has a view he loved already marked out for him after Skittleman considerately built him a nook on a hill by the shopping district. Despite being distracted by testing out Doc M's Shulker shooting gallery, he roughs out the shapes for the rest of the big buildings lining the clifftop. Because this is Minecraft, and what better game is there to build yourself a city block?
I'm starting to spiral. Let's go to the credits.
And that's about it for this week's recap. Our writer is SlyXP, and my name is Pixel Riffs. Captions on this video were provided by Liara. Don't forget to leave a like while you're still here, and subscribe so you won't miss future recaps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.